Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into something absolutely fascinating, the evolution of the steel frame. Basically, we're talking about the vital administrative backbone that holds up the world's largest democracy, India. It's a massive story, so let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive right into this. The steel frame of India. It's such a powerful phrase, right? It was actually coined by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who, is widely recognized as the father of modern all India services. Picture this. It's April 21st, 1947. We're just months away from independence. Patel is addressing the very first batch of civil service probationers. But you really got to remember the historical context here. This wasn't just some routine, polite welcome speech. No way. This was a time of immense volatility with the devastating chaos of partition looming over everything. Patel was laying down the absolute ultimate stakes of their work. He was literally building the foundation for an administrative framework that had to be strong enough to ensure the survival and the unity of a massive, newly independent nation. But here is the profound paradox of that whole vision. When we hear steel frame, we naturally think of raw authority, right? Unyielding rigidity, strict control, all of that. Yet, Patel demanded something entirely different from the people actually making up that frame. He envisioned a service deeply rooted in Suraja, which essentially translates to good governance. Think about it. For the world's largest democracy to actually function, this heavy, massive structure had to be built upon a surprisingly human moral core. We're talking integrity, humility, and a fiercely impartial spirit. So it wasn't just about structural strength. It required immense ethical strength to actually serve citizens, rather than just ruling over them. Now, what's really interesting to consider is that this massive administrative foundation didn't just magically appear out of thin air in 1947. I mean, the British didn't invent Indian administration. It's actually a rich tapestry spanning well over 2 millennia. Starting way back in the 3rd century BCE, Emperor Ashoka introduced the Dhamma Mahamatas, totally pioneering public welfare across some wildly diverse cultures. Then, by the 9th century CE, the Chola dynasty had developed this incredibly sophisticated system of local self-government. Fast forward to the 16th century, the Mughal Mansabdari system comes in and creates a highly structured professional bureaucracy. And finally, the 18th century British Cornwallis Code laid the groundwork for a disciplined civil service. So, step by step, era by era, each of these periods added their own distinct layers of accountability and professionalism to shape the modern framework we see today. So the crucial point is where this incredible 2,000-year history leaves us today, because we're standing at a major crossroads right now, pivoting sharply from the old era into the new. Imagine the historical civil service. It was designed strictly as a rigid structure of authority, literally a mechanism just meant to maintain order and control the population. But today, that mandate has completely shifted. It can't just be a cold, unyielding framework anymore. It absolutely has to transform into a living embodiment of public service. It needs to be a compassionate, dynamic entity that actually listens to and responds to the everyday citizen. And you might be wondering, why is this transformation so incredibly urgent right now? Well, we're facing some monumental modern pressures. First off, there's rapid digital transformation. Citizens today, us included, we don't want to stand in endless administrative lines out in the hot sun. We expect absolute transparency, and we expect services delivered instantly, right to our smartphones. Second, societal values are evolving dramatically. The expectations of what a government actually owes its people have totally shifted from basic administration to active empowerment. The traditional rigid ways of operating simply collapse under these new demands. Governance today, it requires radical agility. The good news is, we don't have to look too far to see that this kind of profound evolution is entirely possible. Some truly legendary veterans have already paved the way for us. Take Tian Seshan, for example. He didn't just oversee elections. He basically single-handedly transformed the election commission. He gave real teeth to electoral laws and fundamentally reshaped the integrity of Indian democracy. It was a real game changer. And alongside him, if we look at the insightful reflections of administrators like Alok Ranjan and E.V. Reddy, they show us that public service is a profound mission. It's not simply a career stepping stone. These folks prove that the system can absolutely be elevated from the inside by people who hold true to those original ethical pillars. Which brings us to the ultimate roadmap for the 21st century. Upgrading this massive historical structure requires a very specific modern toolkit. To build a resilient and compassionate India for generations to come, the future mandate demands humane governance. It requires just administration. It relies on an unwavering dedication to citizen dignity. And above all, it requires the moral courage and the ethical conviction to actually execute these ideals when the political or societal pressures really start to mount.
This isn't just some nice list of noble goals, you know? It is literally an absolute survival requirement for modern statecraft.
So as the digital age completely redefines our society, here's the big question. Will the steel frame bend toward compassion? Can a 2,000-year-old administrative framework successfully adapt its massive legacy to truly serve the humanity of the future? It's a staggering challenge for sure. But as history and the greatest heroes at this service have shown us, the capacity for evolution is already built right into its DNA. Keep that question in mind, take these insights with you, and I look forward to exploring our next topic together in our next explainer.